Hello everybody and welcome to CES 2024. We are here at the MSI booth. A massive thank you, by the way, to MSI for actually bringing us out here and sponsoring this video. And I genuinely think I've never been to a booth tour at anything and there be this much. And this much, that's actually exciting. And on that note, we're going to start by talking about the brand new graphics cards from NVIDIA and MSI. These are the Supers. You may have already seen my video unboxing of the Founders Edition, but we have all of the new cards here. Those new cards being the 4070 Ti Super, the 4080 Super, and then the new 4070 Super. But interestingly, the thing that's actually caught my eye initially is a brand new card entirely. So this one is the 4080 Super, but it's called the Expert, and MSI seem to have actually seen a little gap in the market here. It's quite clever because this, as you can see, is very similar to NVIDIA's Founders Edition. You should be able to buy it without going on a wait list, but you're still going to get that really sort of premium look that isn't all about the sort of gaming RGB bling that you find on a lot of graphics cards, something that's just a whole lot more sensible. I realise, by the way, I'm still getting to grips with not actually having a cameraman this year, sadly. It is just me. But here you are, look. The new Expert 4080 Super from MSI, and I think the best thing actually about this is that they're not expecting there to be a big price premium. In fact, they've actually told me it should be very similar to what they've already got on the market. So not only are you going to have something that looks a little bit more premium, but you're not going to have to pay through the nose for it too. It's also really nice, by the way, to see that MSI are focusing a lot on white graphics cards now. So if you are wanting an all-white build, you're going to be very pleased. So we've got the 4070 Ti Super. This is the slim version, so this is a 2-slot card, or maybe ever so slightly just over. If you want to save a little bit of money, then both the 70 Ti Super and the 4070 Super do come in a Ventus white as well, which is going to, as I say, be great for saving a little bit of money. But here we have the 4070 Slim as well in this 3-fan design. So it's going to be really interesting to test thermals when we get some of these into the studio. But bear in mind, NVIDIA's graphics cards are already very power efficient. I'm not really going to be too worried about noise and thermals, but we'll have to wait and see until we've actually tested that. Coming around the other side, oh, they do actually have a slim version of the 4080 as well, but I mean, that's not really that slim. It's still a 3-slot card, but I guess that's better than 3.5. And what do we have here? This is the 4080 Super Ventus. They do also tell me that there is going to be a Gaming X Trio version, but that isn't here at the moment. It hasn't made it. We do also have some normal coloured graphics cards here as well. And shout out, by the way, to the guy that actually showed me around all of this stuff, because I've never had like a more honest PR guy that's walked me around. The graphics cards for me were the most exciting thing, and he was like, yeah, these are the Super cards, these are pretty cool, but the most exciting thing I think here are the SSDs. Never really heard that before, but to be fair, he's got a point, because what MSI are doing here is actually sort of showing off some new Gen 5 SSDs. This is the existing lineup of Gen 4, but when it comes to Gen 5, personally, this is what I wanted to see for ages, which is a passively cooled SSD. It isn't quite as fast as the water-cooled ones that we're about to see, but you can see it's up to 10,000 meg in both the read and write, which is pretty cool. But obviously, if you do want to go even faster, it's going to produce more heat, so you can get this ginormous thing here. Doesn't actually come with this, again, loud noise. Doesn't come with this MSI base plate, you'd be very pleased to know, but this will look a little bit funky in your system. If you go for an air cooler, I think actually that'll look rather cool. Personally, I think this one looks the best. Is it going to make noise? They say yes, but it shouldn't need to do it very often because SSDs are in sort of burst loads. This is actually a much larger fan than you'll see in a lot of Gen 5 SSDs, so I'm hoping this will be reasonably quiet. But then this one is still a little bit of a prototype at the moment. This is, how do you say that? The Spartium, and this is actually like an all-in-one cooler for an SSD, which is, well, pretty cool, I suppose. I mean, quite whether it's going to look like this when it does release and whether you need one, because the speed of this goes up to a whopping 14,000 on the read and 12,000 on the writes. But then there is actually the same as this, not passively cooled, actively cooled SSD that we have here. So I'm not entirely sure how necessary this is going to be. If you want something that looks pretty cool, and it's going to be pretty cool, then maybe you need one of these. As I say though, definitely so much here to see. I mean, there's the brand new MSI Claw, which is a brand new handheld games console. I'll go and test that in just a second. But first, I actually want to draw you over to some of the more PC componenty stuff that they've got going on here. Some brand new motherboards that actually I think are a lot more interesting than a lot of people probably would, because these are more budget orientated boards. And they've got this cool new design. I think these are going to replace the Pro series on some of the lower spec stuff. So this is an X B670E Gaming Plus, and then this one is the B650M Gaming Plus. So these are going to be more entry-level gaming motherboards that have all of the features that you need, but then a really nice, attractive price point. Only thing I will say about this is, while I really do like the design, once you've seen something, you can't unsee it, which is that there's this little gamepad logo here. And as I say, I do want to reiterate that I do genuinely like it, but I will say that it kind of, in that color specifically, does look a little bit like pharmacy, hospital-wise, because it almost looks a bit like a plus. I mean, I'm all for that because it's something that stands out and looks a little bit different, but I guarantee MSI probably didn't notice that until I've just raised it. You're welcome. You know what, let's go first person Marcus cam here. What do we got on offer? Actually, some brand new chassis. This one isn't going to be out for a little bit because they're still revising a few changes with it, but this is actually part of the Project Zero range, and the case that we'll come to in just a second over here, the Micro ATX one, I've actually got at home, and the whole idea of this is that it's supposed to reduce the amount of cables that you have in your system. So this is a sort of partially complete system to sort of give you that full illustration. And if you look at the top here, all of those cables are actually missing. So they go and plug around the back, which is pretty cool. They got this on a Lazy Susan, so I can open this one up. There we go, we take that off. I can actually do this one-handed, which is quite cool actually. Well, I can probably break the case as well. You know what, guys, this is actually a first. For once, it wasn't me that broke it. It's just, it's a pre-production prototype, as I say. But yes, looking inside, you can see all of your cables will now go this side. So look, you've got your ATX here, and then you've got like your fans and things, then you've got your CPU power. Everything is still there, it's just on the other side of the motherboard. And obviously you will need a case that is compatible with this in order for it to work. This is a fully set up and finished build, look, you can see here. And yeah, you've just got a much cleaner overall look to it that I really like. You do still have a cable actually to your graphics card, and you do have one for the cooler here, but besides that, it is super clean. And this new case I really like as well. It's kind of like got that high-esque-ness to it, but I think it's even cleaner than that because it's a lot more sort of integrated. As I say though, the case of course is only half the equation. It is really the motherboard that is going to do most of the work. This is what it looks like. This is one of the Micro ATX ones, and as you can see from the top, there's just, well, everything's there, but actually you can see a lot of the solder points now. And when you turn it round, here you can see all of the connections on the other side of the motherboard. It's pretty cool. And if you step up to one of the sort of higher end ones, they will start to put more covers and things on, which will make the motherboard a little bit more expensive, but I definitely think it's worth it to get a much cleaner overall look. But to be fair, some of you may say that you've seen all of this before, but I can guarantee something you almost certainly haven't seen before is the integration with some third-party cases, because this is the Phanteks NV9. This is going to be the Project Zero edition when that comes out a little bit later. This is a sneak peek of a brand new case from Corsair. It is the 6500X. That looks super clean. Look how nice those edges are. This is really premium. Going to be very excited to test this out and do like a MSI project build in this. I'm not sure whether this is actually going to be like the case as like general, whether it will, all these cases will support them, or whether it's a special edition. But yeah, really nice, like that. And at the end of the day, this is a concept that is going to live and die based on the adoption that it sees in the industry. So it is really nice actually to sort of see this being pushed through. It's something that I'll be really keen to test. But something else you may have just seen is that MSI are also launching some fans. Fantastic name. Yeah, you get it. That we have here, the EZ120. Really pleased with the name on this. And these are magnetically connecting fans, but they're reinforced by using these little clips here. And I would say that this is definitely one of the best systems I've seen yet, because I can even do this one-handed. When have you ever like put together 3 fans with one hand before? Never been done. So there you go. We've seen the likes of this before, sort of connect together, but the magnet doesn't need to be as strong because all of the rigidity comes with these little clips. Now I admit this is not as easy to do with one hand, but I think I can do it. Yes, there we go. So that's half of the equation. I guess that one does your sort of fan speed, and then the other side will be your RGB. Why did I decide to do this one-handed? Well, it's because my cameraman was far too lazy to turn up. It wasn't that, it was actually because sadly he couldn't make it. But there you go. Some magnetic fans that you can control with software. You can sort of sync them with different games, set profiles for everything, but fundamentally you've got a junction box here that will do 4 different sort of chains of fans, and you can do up to 18 on a single block, so pretty cool. Now guys, I don't want to jinx this, but I think the drilling might have stopped. we done? I'm not holding my breath, or I wouldn't be very good at making this video, but hey ho, I want to talk about the monitors now, and if you like OLED monitors, you are in for a real treat, because we've got quite a few here, and interestingly a lot of them sort of share the same sort of panel, but MSI have gone for different approaches. So they're going for people that just want the sort of bare bones performance from the monitor, all the way up to those that want loads of like options, and you want to be able to sort of control the monitor from within Windows, all of these things. But I'm really excited actually. So we've got a 240 Hertz, yes, 240 Hertz panel, 4K, 32 inches, QD OLED. So let me tell you, I know this won't come across very well on camera, but the way these monitors look is ridiculous. I've been using a QD OLED monitor for my personal screen for ages now, and I just can't go back. It's fantastic. And interestingly, the 34-inch ultra-wide that they're releasing, they're saying will start at around about $999, but they're also expecting the price of this, you know how it works, like to sort of come down fairly quickly-ish. So it should be really competitive actually. I mean, I'll go and find this monitor. As I say, there's a few different variants, but this one here is actually the one that you can sort of get hold of for that $999 price. I don't know what happened to the game. There was a game running on this, but it's gone. Can we get the game back, please? Sorry, that's my fault for barging in. Yeah, can you film me?
Sure.
Is that all right?
Okay.
There you go, guys. I've hired a cameraman. It's done. How much am I paying you for this?
$999.
That's the same cost of the monitor. Who would have guessed? So yes, this is 175 Hertz, and it's just a really nice, slick design actually, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It's a weird sort of coating on this in a good way, because it's glossy, but it's not the most reflective out there, which it's not very easy to do. But obviously if you go for a matte panel, you get less reflections, but I find that it never looks quite as good. Whereas if you go for a glossy panel, it looks better, but you can get a load of reflections. But definitely in this room as well, there's quite a lot of light here, but it's not too bad, especially bear in mind it's curved as well. So yeah, for $999, I think a lot of people are gonna like the look of this. And I also like that MSI have gone for a much cleaner look to the overall design of the monitor as well. There's been quite a few iterations of MSI monitors over the years. Personally, I really like what they're doing here. But if we come down along, this is probably the favorite one that I have here. I love having a cameraman again. Can you come with me on the whole trip to all of the other booths?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. Let's go. So this is a 240 Hertz 4K monitor, and obviously OLED itself is just so quick anyway when it comes to pixel response times. But if you combine that with a 240 Hertz refresh rate, then what you get is as close to perfect as I think you're going to see really. And because it's a QD OLED panel, then you're going to get really excellent image quality when it comes to colors as well. You're the right person to ask. What is the max brightness on this? Because it's True Black 500, is that right? True Black 400 or Display HDR 1000?
Yeah, 1000 nits.
Okay, so the max is 1000 nits. Yeah, 1000 nits of peak brightness on this. I think a lot of people are going to love this, because if you want to do any sort of gaming and entertainment at the same time. How much was the price of this?
1199.
1199, so basically $1,200. I think you're getting a lot of monitor for the money. 240 Hertz, 4K QD OLED, that is the dream. There's a lot of stuff, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you it'll be cool? But I do want to take you over to look at something completely different now. Now this is a room full of laptops, and what they've got on offer is really cool. But there's one thing in particular that I didn't expect to see, but see we shall, because this is the MSI Claw. And this is a handheld games console with this absolutely beautiful, vibrant screen on it. But interestingly, rather than a lot of the competition, you know, like things like the Steam Deck, this actually goes for much better cooling. You can see this on the back. So this was one of the main things they wanted to point out actually. This has been running, or all of these units actually been running all day pretty much. And all of them are just sort of warm to the touch. So they're not going to spew a load of horrible hot air, hopefully anyway, out of the back. This is not really one-handed operation. We're cut to B-roll. But yeah, this is definitely a handheld games console with a difference. The main one actually being that this is utilizing the brand new processors from Intel. So this is not AMD Ryzen product. I mean, we'll swap over to this now. Wasn't that seamless? Where we have Assassin's Creed Mirage running. And yeah, you can see it's running pretty well actually. These are still pre-release units. So if you see like there's a tiny bit of stutter. That's just, as I say, hopefully because it's pre-release, and all of this sort of will get ironed out by the time it hits shelves. But the fact that it can run this and look absolutely beautiful is really, really cool. I do like the form factor as well. I mean, if I'm being honest, I would say that obviously if you go for a Nintendo Switch, it's a little bit smaller, lighter, and is a bit more portable, but then it can't run PC games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, so that's always going to be the trade-off. But really, really cool, and definitely Very excited to get this in. So yeah, definitely watch this space. As soon as they can get one to me, I really hope they'll send me one, because it means I can play a load of games. Just a quick behind the scenes, by the way. It is quite funny that you have all of this MSI heavily sort of gaming and then creative branding. And then because we're in the Venetian hotel, you have these intricate ceilings. I mean, when have you ever seen gaming everything with this sort of look and design? You don't see it, it's a rarity. But anyway, one of the demos I want to show you, because I think this will actually have a real impact on you, to show you sort of the future of computing in a way. These are the Prestige 16s, and this is running an NPU. And we've got a very simple demo actually. This is me, there's me in the camera, and it's doing like a portrait blur here, which is something a lot of people use if you think you're on your Teams meeting and you've got like a messy kitchen or living room or something in the background, you want to blur it out. And if you use like the inbuilt stuff, it can be okay. Sometimes it just looks a little bit fake. But by having an NPU, not only are you going to get like much better detail in theory around the edges once the hardware is used properly, but a real world benefit, if you look here, is that the power consumption is, what's that, about 4.5 watts on the CPU. We're not using a GPU at all here. And as I say, you can see the background blur is working. But when we come over here, this is using NVIDIA Broadcast. So this is using the GPU to do the same job. But then this laptop is using 16.7 watts on the CPU and then 25 watts on the GPU and 15 on the CPU. So it's a crazy difference in power actually. Do you see now why I wanted to show you this demo? Because it might not sound that interesting, and then you start to think about it and you're like, well actually, if you're going to be using a gaming laptop or a laptop in general all of the time, these are the sorts of things you're going to be able to do, and having that NPU can be really useful. So I wanted to share that with you. But going back to the gaming side of things, we'll go over these at a slightly faster pace. We've got the Pulse 17 and 16 AI, so these are up to 4070 NVIDIA laptops here, 1440p screens up to 240 Hz. This one is the Stealth AI Studio. This actually has up to a RTX 4090 laptop GPU inside, but it's still very, very thin. Oh, I'm getting static from everything. This is not a good design, I'm sorry guys. But yeah, look, really, really thin. Bear in mind this can have a 4090 in it. Very, very impressive. If we go over here, we've got the Crosshair 17HX or the Crosshair 16HX. We've got the Sword 17 and Sword 16HX. HX meaning that it's got the more powerful Intel CPUs inside it, rather than like the Core Ultra that you might find in some of the slimmer laptops. Those of course have a lower TDP, but then to be fair, those could give you better battery life. So it's about finding the right laptop for your personal needs. But then over here, we've got the real big boys. So these are, or this one I should say, is the Raider HX. And this is a 4090 laptop, but this is all about sort of desktop replacement really. I mean, that's not to say it has to do that, but obviously you've got a very large 18-inch display on this, up to an RTX 4090, and the amount of power you can put through this is pretty huge. But then if you want to go for the very best, and they say this is the world's fastest gaming laptop, this is the Titan 18HX. I mean, to be fair, this area is very busy, so let's go over to the other side of the room where they've also got it set up. And yeah, the main thing about this really is the fact that the amount of power you can put inside this, bearing in mind it's got that RTX 4090 and the 14900 i9 CPU from Intel, you can do a combined wattage of 270 watts. 270 watts on a gaming laptop. I mean, yes, you probably are going to need a pretty hefty power brick to pump all of that power in, but to actually be able to accept all of that power and not like fry all of the chips, actually keep the cooling under wraps is very, very impressive. They've gone with enormous vapor chamber. They've actually got it here for you. So if you know anything about cooling, I guess you'll be suitably impressed about this. If you don't, this might just look like a piece of metal. But obviously, fundamentally, the more power you put inside a gaming laptop, bear in mind it's got the battery and stuff in there as well, right? So there's a very small amount of space, and you've got to do a lot of cooling to keep it all under check. It is very, very impressive. So there's a lot of stuff on show here for sure, and I know I haven't covered all of it, so apologies to anything that I've missed. Some really, really exciting stuff. I'd like to think that my passion has come through. Fortunately, that was a nice little segue because we got to the final thing I wanted to show you. This is the Cyborg 14. So this is actually a more affordable gaming laptop, but this aims to sort of bring the cost down a little bit by using slightly more inexpensive materials for the chassis. Static shock again. I should have learnt my lesson by now, but this is still really slim and powerful. But I really like the fact that you've actually got a full-size Ethernet on the back as well. So they've been quite clever with the way that it works. There you go. Like, you've got a full-size Ethernet on this, yet you've still got a very slim laptop. So this really is going to be one of those machines you can take with you everywhere. You buy one laptop and it's this, and it can do pretty much everything. So this actually goes up to an RTX 4060 laptop GPU. Personally, that's actually my favorite. That's the one I use on my personal gaming laptop. I think it's a nice sort of sweet spot. CPU, it goes up to an Intel i7, so it's a 13620H. I'm sorry, my memory is frazzled with all of these CPU names and all of these different models. I'm so sorry I've not got a photographic memory. And indeed, there we go. That has been the MSI booth tour. Let me know your thoughts. What's been your favorite? For me, actually, I think the fans are up there because I've not personally used a system that's hopefully going to be a little bit more price accessible. I mean, I know Corsair have got their QX fans, but obviously they're right at the top when it comes to price premium. So if MSI can actually undercut them by quite a lot, then you're going to get very high performance fans, you're going to get ones that look great and obviously be really easy to put together with less cables. That's great. And obviously all of the Project Zero stuff and the QD OLED monitors, anything desktop is very me, but the gaming laptops were pretty cool, as was the Claw. Let me know your thoughts though down in the comment section below. What do you like? What do you dislike? Anything you want to pick up? Will you be getting a MSI EV charging station? Let me know down in the comment section below. Smash this like button if you've enjoyed it. Get subscribed for more CES content, and we'll catch you in the next one.